Team, time for that staff video update, and I'm starting with a story. This past weekend, I talked about loving your actual neighbor, and one of my actual neighbors texted the group of neighbors that hang out with each other, inviting them all to come to Cedar Creek this weekend. And I had asked them, what is it that you love about your neighbors, or how have you experienced love from your neighbors? And it turned into like a big old text joke filled, but also some serious responses in the midst of that. It was fun and comical to look at all their responses. They didn't know what I was talking about until about halfway through, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for content for a weekend message. And then that turned into, you should come to church. And everybody said that they were busy. And then on Sunday, I got a message that one of my neighbors who's never been to Cedar Creek is coming. And then I heard a little bit after that two other neighbors that have never been to Cedar Creek is joining them, and they're all coming together to the 11 o'clock service. So it's been a while since somebody that I've been investing in that has never been to Cedar Creek, and I believe they're on a spiritual journey. They would probably call themselves a Christian, but I don't know that they live out or experience God's grace the ways that I have. I mean, maybe in small doses. Either way, they have a next step to take spiritually. So I know they're showing up to Cedar Creek for the very first time. And you know what happened? All of a sudden, all of these questions started rolling through my mind that I know, but I just started asking afresh. Will the lobby be welcoming? Will their experience with other people here be positive? What are they going to think of the opening song? And will the host be relatable and not robotic and he's like, oh yeah, it was great. Will the worship songs, will they understand? And you know, I'm trusting God's spirit with all of this. And then I rifled through a lot of that, and I'm like, oh, it'll be a good weekend for them to be here. And then I started thinking about my message. Like, how is this relating to somebody who, in some cases, may not have even understood God's grace? Like, Christianity to them is a list of rules that you follow. It's amazing how your perspective on the service shifts when you have people that you know in the room who you have wanted to experience God in a personal or in an increasing way. It changes everything. It changed the way I sang during the worship songs. It changed the way that I prayed during the service. It also reminded me that I need to trust God in the midst of all of those circumstances. It honestly reminded me that every weekend, somebody's actual neighbor is showing up for the very first time. And so my encouragement to you, especially as we head into August or out of August, into September, into Halloween weekend, into at the movies, that we need to be mindful of that, and we need to remind our dream team of that on an ongoing basis. Like, people are coming for the very first time. And so how are we thinking through what it's going to be like for them? And I feel like our team does a great job of that. But it was just a fresh reminder for me that I wanted to pass on to you. And I can't wait to hear what they thought of the service. I've already talked to one of my neighbors. They enjoyed the experience. It provoked some questions. They said they'll come back at some point. I don't know when. But yeah, it's been great. And I'm prayerful for all of them that that they make it. They've been on my top 5 card for a few years. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, along that line, we had DreamTeam Launch this last week, and that was incredible too. You all worked so hard. I was talking with some of the leaders, the leadership team, just how thankful we are to be a part of a team that makes projects like that fun. And you all work hard, you leaned in. It was hard work, it was hot work. And I also think God showed up in the midst of that to clarify a little bit of the why behind the what, and a little bit of the what, new places to reach new people. And I hope you're thinking about that and keeping that conversation moving forward. One of the exciting things is people are responding to the vision that you're casting. We had 96% of our goal for Dream Team signed in the past 60 days. So what we're seeing is we're hitting our goals in terms of Dream Team. That may not mean you're hitting your capacity of what you think it's going to take. So let's take another step towards that in this next month. We had 15 new families check in this past weekend. Student nights kicking off this week. It's like there's some exciting things, there's some good momentum that we are experiencing here. Prayer nights have been strong, and so let's keep that up, and let's keep connecting with people through the app, all right? And as you ask people what do they love about Dream Team, if they come up to you like, oh, I love Dream Team, ask what do they like about it, and try to put into words like, there's probably an experience or something that was memorable for them, and so try to pull out of them what that was. That can help inform some of the principles that we want to make sure are a part of future Dream Team gatherings. So those are some things to think about. And then one personal thought to you reflect on, for you to reflect on for maybe 10 minutes, is this is a holiday weekend, and so we take Labor Day off, and the temptation for me, and probably for you, is to fill that with something, getting caught up on something, somewhere, whatever. And maybe it's not on Labor Day, but my encouragement to you would be to do something replenishing this weekend. Take 4 hours or so, and some of you are like, Ben, I don't have that time this weekend. I get it, but do something replenishing within the next couple of weeks, because September will kind of ebb and flow, and October will kind of ebb and flow in terms of busyness. And if we don't take time, there will always be something that will take that time. So you're never going to be at a moment where you're like, I don't know what to do. There will always be things to do. We have to be intentional about scheduling or setting aside some replenishment space, playing pickleball, going for a walk, reading a book, watching movies, going to the movie theater in the middle of the day, going on a date night, going on a trip with your kids, walking, picking a different metro park. Find something that could be replenishing for you, and let's make sure we're continuing to engage in those sorts of rhythms, especially as we step into this fall season. All right? That's all I got for you today, guys. Love you. It's a real privilege to be a part of our church, for our family to be impacted by so many of you. And so I hope you feel that and sense that, like you all matter to me so much. So love you guys. See ya.